Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video. And today we're going to be talking about my top favorite NES games of all time. Now I have to warn you guys, you're probably not going to see a lot of games that you guys want to see on this list. You know, a lot of the Mario games, Zelda game, Kirby games, things like that. I feel like I just wanted to have my own unique list, but those games are some of my favorites. They just didn't make this top list. They're probably in the top, they're definitely in the top 30 NES games of all time. But anyways, I'll leave it at that. Hope you guys like the list. Let's take a look. So I picked up Ari Warriors 3, The Rescue. So if you guys seen my NES collection video, you saw that I had that game in that video, but I didn't really show it off. The reason why, that label is really jacked up. But I saw this label and I decided, yep, I got to pick this one up. So anyways, Ari Warriors 3, I played this game over a friend's house when I was a kid, and I was actually blown away by it. But I will never forget the scene in the second level of the dancing soldiers. Some of you guys, old school folks, know what I'm talking about, and I cannot get that out of my head, like seeing that scene. Ari Warriors 3 is something else, and I actually feel that this is actually better than the arcade game. Arcade game was all kinds of weird. But anyways, guys, if you see this game out there, you want to collect a cool beat-em-up game for your NES, I would say definitely try this one out. I do want to mention that the game is actually on the SNK Anniversary Collection for PS4 and Switch, so if you don't want to play it on a retro console, you can play it on those systems as well. Take a look. Alright, Super Contra had to be on this list. I love this game way more than the original Contra. I felt like the original Contra was kind of like, it's an awesome game, but it was kind of lackluster, especially with the final boss. I was disappointed with that freaking heart. But Super Contra steps it up so much, and I really enjoyed playing this with my cousin back in the day. I remember we used to kind of like beat the game. I won't say we were beating on no death runs, but we were pretty close, you know, to doing it that way. I never really hear Contra fans talk about this one over the original Contra game, but still, I love this game very much. It's dear to my heart. Definitely had to make this list. Here is Verse Super Mario Brothers. So I don't know how this came to be made on the NES system, but this is a very different version of Super Mario Brothers Part 1. So this one adds a little bit more difficulty. It adds a save system, and you can actually save your high score into this game, which is nice. I remember when I first laid eyes on this at the pizza shop when I was a kid, and I told my mom there was something different about this version of Mario Brothers because I had pretty much played out the NES version, so I could tell that this game was very, well, I don't want to say very different, but it's different. Different enough, I would say. But now we have this unofficial version out on the NES, and I think it's pretty cool. I would tell everybody this is probably the best version of Super Mario Brothers to play. It's like, it's just different enough, and it's actually pretty awesome. And hopefully some of you guys in the comments have played this game and you pretty much know it in and out. But yeah, guys, definitely check this one out if you have the chance to play it. Alright, so here is Little Nemo the Dream Master. I love this game, but I also hate some of the backtracking you have to do in this game. It's like, man, what the heck, man? It would have been perfect if you'd have to do all this backtracking. But definitely one of my favorites of my childhood. It was weird when this game came out because I remember the movie was, well, we thought the movie was going to come out, and we never saw the movie, so we got the game before the movie. The movie came out like in America like years later, which was weird. So but definitely a solid game. Definitely, I think a lot of game that people should pick up if they get it. If you're trying to get into the NES, I feel like this is one of the games you should have for the system. Alright, so Felix the Cat is really cool because it's very similar to Super Mario Brothers 3. And when I say similar, it's similar in the way of you get these different outfits that have these different features that'll help you during the adventure. It's actually pretty cool. Now, the game is not on the level of Super Mario Brothers 3, but it's actually pretty fun. But the only thing I have against this game is that some of the levels can be pretty long sometimes, or at least when I was playing this game back in the day and I was trying to beat it, you know, some of those levels were like long, man. I was like, what the heck is going on? Or they started to look like too much of the same stuff pretty much, so maybe that was it. But anyways, guys, Felix the Cat, definitely worth adding to your collection. So I've talked about Moon Crystal before, And a lot of people have not played this game, unfortunately, because it was not released in America. But somebody did a fans translation of it, and it's pretty much like it plays like a Prince of Persia game, but it has story told like a Ninja Gaiden game. Like the cinematics in this game are really well done, and this is one of those games that will keep you wanting more because you want to see what happens next thanks to the cinematics. Now, I have to warn everybody: the third level can be a little bit difficult, you know, trying to like you have to hit these switches and there's a timer on them. It's really annoying, but once you get past that level, you know, things kind of like get smooth again. The game has good difficulty curves, but sometimes the third level is kind of weird, and then I think the last level is kind of like pretty brutal, but still you'll be able to get past it. You put a little hard work into it. But Moon Crystal, definitely a shame it wasn't released in America, but thank goodness somebody did a fans translation of it. Alright, so here is Rainbow Islands. Now, a lot of people probably say, hey Reggie, why did you choose Rainbow Islands over Bubble Bobble? Well, everybody knows when you play Bubble Bobble and you play it solo, the game kind of cheats you out of getting that ending, and I worked hard to try to get that ending. But Rainbow Islands is a different type of game, and I think this one plays a lot better, and I feel like this one's a lot more fun. As you climb the tower trying to get to the islands, it's just a really fun game. Now, the NES version is not as colorful as the arcade, which is totally fine, but the game just really has a lot of charm, and it really is a lot of fun. Plus, the game has 2 different endings depending on how you play the game and what you collect, so that's always cool. Now, to be honest, the NES version of the game is not the best version of the game to play. Obviously, you guys will notice that it's missing the 2-player mode, but still, it's a lot of fun, and that won't take away what the game has to offer. Honestly, if this game had a 2-player mode on the NES version, it would probably have a lot of slowdowns, so maybe it's good they only added 1 player. Now here is Double Dragon 2 for the NES. I remember playing this back in the day, and it was so much fun. I remember a friend had this game, and I had to borrow it from him, and it sucked because I could borrow it for maybe like a couple hours or whatnot and try to play it. And I tried to let him borrow my Ninja Turtles, but he wasn't having that. But this was considered one of the best Double Dragon games of that era, I would say. And I agree. Double Dragon 2 really just, they added cinematics to it. They added extra levels, final boss that is not in the arcade, and it just really kind of like changed things up. Now, as a kid, I played Double Dragon 2, the arcade game, and I was pretty much traumatized by that game. In the beginning, the intro scene, Marion is shot and killed in the street. And you think you're going to save her at the end still somehow, but you know, you get that Polaroid picture of the old times, and you really don't get that happy ending you want. But not only does Double Dragon 2 on the NES add extra levels and extra bosses, but they give you a happy ending, and they bring Marion back pretty much. And thankfully, she's not a zombie; she's alive and well. But I was just surprised by that when I played the game back in the day, so I thought that was really cool. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is a game I have a lot of fond memories of. I played this with my brother and my cousin, and it was kind of funny. I remember, like, my brother was better at the game than me in the beginning, of course. And I remember he locked us out of the room while we was trying to play the game because I guess we kept disturbing him and whatnot. But it was kind of like fun, like watching him get through the opponents. And I learned by watching him pretty much, and I got better than him at the game pretty much. I could still beat Tyson, not as good as I used to be, but I could still beat him though fairly easy. But man, back in the day, it was rough. Like him knocking you out in that first round with that one punch was pretty brutal. But Mike Tyson's Punch-Out still a classic to this day. Everybody should be playing this game still. A great experience. Mickey Mouse Capade. So my dad took me to buy a game. We originally wanted to get Super Mario Brothers 2, but we couldn't find it anywhere at the time. So I ended up getting this because I know how my dad was. Like, if we're here now and you don't get it now, forget it. So I picked this game out. And I didn't really care for it at first. I did like it, but I wasn't compelled to play it at first. And then all of a sudden, it just grew on me. And one of the levels in this game that really gets on everybody's nerves is probably the turning point for a lot of people is the woods. The woods is like this maze area that you have to kind of like find these hit boxes to open these trees to get to the further levels. Pretty much, it's pretty difficult unless you know where they're at exactly. But I found them by chance when I was a kid, and once I got to that area, I just kind of took off with this game. Really fell in love with this one. It's very dear to my heart. As you guys can see, I have it complete in box pretty much. I don't remember how this game was received back in the day, but this game actually is 2 players. If you have a second player pick up a controller or plug it into the second slot, they can play as Minnie Mouse, and she can't take any damage, so you kind of use that exploit with bosses as well, so in certain areas, so pretty cool stuff. Today, I love the Mappy Land games, but back when I was a kid and I first got this game, I did not want this game. I did not think I was going to like it. I forgot what game I was trying to get before this one, but I ended up getting this one. But it actually grew on me. I thought this one was a lot of fun once I figured out how to get past the levels, how you had to collect all the cheese. Now, I think there's this game has like 4 gaming loops you have to go through, like to kind of like get through all the areas pretty much, like all the scenarios. But that's one thing I don't like about this game is that it keeps looping, you know, to the beginning of the game pretty much. I wish that the game had like some kind of an ending or whatever like that. At least I did back when I was a kid. But still, man, this is one of the cool games out there. I mean, I know the cover doesn't do it justice, but Mappy Land is all right. Here is Wizards and Warriors, but before I talk about this one, we gotta take a look at the intro. Man, that intro didn't move you. You got no soul. But anyways, guys, I first played this game back when I was in 2nd grade. I actually borrowed it from a friend, and I was blown away. You know, I was trying to do everything I could to get better at this game because I got stuck at the 3rd level, and then I finally figured out that level, and I just kind of like breezed through the game. It was so much fun. I was so happy with how this game played. But man, Wizards and Warriors, man, there's something about this game. It's in a league of its own. If you haven't played this game, it's one of the best 8-bit adventure games of all time. It's a lot of fun. Definitely worth playing. Kiwi Craze, also known as the New Zealand story. I don't know why they changed the name, but man, this is another great platform game that I don't know if it really got a lot of popularity on the NES system, but maybe that's because there's so many ports of this game. It was just like everywhere, and that's a good thing. Not every port was great, but I think the NES port of this game was pretty well done.
So here's Air Fortress. I used to own this game. I don't know what happened to my copy of it, but I decided to pick one up again, of course. And this game brings back so many memories. Air Fortress, I played, I don't know how young I was, but I remember I was over a friend's house. We were trying to get far in the game. I could never get past the 5th fortress back then. There was something in that level. It was like a maze or something like that. And I never got past it. It really annoyed me. But I'm going to play it again now, get past that level. I think I got past it years later, but I just can't remember. So anyways, this one's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen it before, pretty much you go to these air fortresses and you have to blow up these, you have to blow up the energy core and then escape. So first part of the levels plays like a shoot 'em up, and then once you get to the air fortress, it kind of plays like a floaty platform game. Very weird, but it's still fun. You have your jetpack and you're kind of like using that to kind of like get around. But your main objective is to get to the energy core of the fortress and blow that up. Now, it's most of the time it's hidden, or sometimes it's out in plain view once you get past certain levels, or certain areas, I would say. Once you find it and destroy it, you have to get out of the base because the base goes dark. And pretty much you gotta do it before you run out of energy. That's pretty much like your timer in this game. And when the fortress goes dark, it's playing this eerie music, man. It makes you want to get out of there. So you gotta hurry up and find that exit to get out, because if you run out of energy, it's game over pretty much. So sometimes, like I said, it could be a maze to find the energy core and the escape hatch, but not impossible.